Sport on Netflix. Have you seen that one come up?
I've seen it pop up, but I haven't watched any of it yet.
Really cool. So I went through and watched all 6. I only just finished it this morning. So it's a volume 1. So hopefully they're going to bring back and do it again. But it's a crossover between true crime and sport, and it's all within fairly recent era. I mean, some of the episodes are closer, like you or I would have watched them as kids, the teams play, and some of them you wouldn't. But they do a mix of sports, and they follow the crimes that happen within them. So it starts out with college basketball, and a guy named Hedek, who was supposed to be going from Arizona State into the NBA. He should have been drafted, but he got himself caught up in gambling, and then ended up owing his bookmaker a stack of money. And to make that money back and then start making a profit, he started shaving points from his games. And it's a real insight into how people will try to get away with these things. And it was pretty crazy. He was that good that they don't shave points. So I always thought people must just throw games, like it's real cardinal sin of sport to throw a game and to not play the best you can and play fairly. But the way that they do it is they work in the betting margins. So they might not need a team to necessarily lose. They might just need them to win by only a certain amount. So rather than lose, he was trying to get the team to win, say, only by... It needed to be by 12 points, but the bookmaker kept shaving the points down to give himself a buffer, and he would tell Hedek, you can only win by 6 points, and these games, he was winning them by the exact amount of points. He was that good. Eventually it leaked out and they got caught. So that's the first episode, but then it runs through a few different things. So they do point shaving basketball. They do a race car driver who funded his entire racing team on dealing drugs and dealing huge amounts of marijuana. Like, they filled the bottoms of the container ships you see out in the ocean with, it was like 80,000 kilos at a time of marijuana.
That's a lot.
They did Olympic figure skating, which was the officials being bribed. Juventus got done for organised crime in the early 2000s because they were manipulating referees, which started out weird of them just like locking a referee in the ref's room and leaving him there, but then it got to a point of destroying careers and all sorts of things like that. The most interesting one I found, though, and it was the saddest, but the most interesting, there was equestrian, which is not something that I thought people would manipulate and go bad in, but there was a horse hitman in an equestrian league in America that the people that were riding, and they were really high-profile business people, high-profile sort of Olympic-level equestrian riders, they can insure that their horses for, it was like $150,000, $250,000. You know how much horses are worth. And they can inflate the prices of those horses. So when things weren't going right, they would get this guy in and they would get him to basically murder the horses so they could claim the money back and come square financially on these horses. And he would just go out and he said it was like just going down to the local horse park and people would just walk up to him and just ask him like it wasn't even illegal. And he had a way of murdering these horses basically that was supposed to be undetectable. So eventually they found him out. But yeah, really crazy that you'd think someone would have a horse hitman.
Yeah, that's not the way I would expect there to be a crime in equestrian or horse racing or anything.
Yeah, so you think it's like this nice, lovely, caring sport, but I guess it's filled. A lot of the time you do hear that CEOs and things are kind of sociopaths, that they don't care about others and lives and things, and it really fit the bill in this one. But yeah, and the last one was a cricket match fixing from a South African guy. So a real mix of...
That's the one I've seen. The Hansi Cronje one. I've seen that.
That's the one, yeah. Yeah, I found that it was a really interesting show. I mean, people that really like true crime, I think it's a good mix between people like me that like sport and people like, I guess, Leo that loves true crime. You can get that mix in there at the same time, and it's a really good idea. And they found some really interesting crimes, and the way they interview all the people that are in it. So it's not just from an external perspective. You get the first person retell of the criminals that actually did it most of the time. So yeah, really interesting watch. hour-long episodes, 6-part series, and I found all of them really interesting. And it was nice to have a mix of sports in that sense, that it wasn't just one type of sport, and it wasn't just the sports you think.
Yep. Just quick hello to Miss Alex, who's in the chat. So yeah, like it feels like it's a great way to sort of get couples, like you said, like you're a sports fan, and then if your partner is like a true crime fan, it's a good way to get a couple to sit down and watch a Netflix show that isn't just like a drama or a comedy show or something.
Yeah, definitely. And like for me, I don't mind true crime, but sometimes psychopathic murderers that cut people and whatever is just too much for me.
A bit much.
I enjoy, yeah, the true crime where people don't really get. I guess in this case, the horses got electrocuted and all sorts of things, but where people don't generally get too harmed. And I guess they wouldn't be able to interview people that have done crimes to that level, I guess. And so it's a nice level for me of true crime at the same time as enjoying sport. And it definitely would be a crossover for couples, I think.
Yep. Yeah, you're more of a like a Tiger King true crime or the Making a
Yeah,
Murderer true crimes.
yeah, ones that make you go, ugh, not want to vomit.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do the occasional one, but I'm not the person that can sit there and just go through people being eaten and stuff.
Yep.